Okay, we're gonna put together a 3-watt Luxeon star IR array. And I don't think these are really Luxeon stars. They're probably knockoffs, Chinese knockoffs. I get these 3 watts from www.dealextreme.com. I got the heat sinks off of eBay. I'll give you a link to it. They're pretty nice little heat sink that makes everything a whole lot simpler. So the first thing we're going to do is I have some heatsink plaster. You could use heatsink grease. You don't have to have an adhesive because the screw is actually going to hold the LED down. So all I need is a transferring compound. So I'm going to put it on my, I'll put this on my Luxeon star. I put it on the back. I put the heatsink paste on the back, and I just slide that underneath the screw head. And now I'm going to put my other screw in to mount it to the array. And I've used one already with a Jazz. That was a 5-watt. I've never tested just one LED with a Jazz. We're going to do the other one now. Get that paste back so that I'm going to slide it on. Put a screw in. Here's the second array. Make sure it's all down all the way. That wasn't down. Okay, we got it down. Now, if we look at the LED, there's a positive and a negative. And what I want to do next is I want to tin the positive and negative pad so I can put my wires to those spots. So now I want to tin my positive pad, tin my negative pad, and there's 2 other pads, positive and negative. Use either one. Do the same thing with my other. I want to tin my negative. My positive pad. And that part's done. Okay, now I tin my wire, and I want to take my negative and solder that on, my negative wire. I want to take my positive and I want to solder that on. I want to do that to the other LED too, the same identical thing. Okay, now for this project I'm using a 1050 watt or 1050 milliamp driver. And all I'm going to do is connect the LED to the output of this little board. And for this board, some of them come up with the wires already on. This one didn't. It came with the wires separate and you had to solder them on. So I like it because I used my own wire anyhow. I want to, when this particular board, I want to solder to that terminal, which is positive, and that terminal which is negative. So I'll tin my wires coming off my LED, and I'll just solder those wires on. Now these drivers here is a 4.5, 3.6 to 4.5 volt LED. So that'll be 3 C's, 3 double A's batteries, whatever you decide to use, 3 D batteries to run the array. It's whatever you can put in your case. You can do 3 double A's, or like I said, or put them in series of 6. So we're going to solder our positive wire to the center of this little driver. That's a little difficult for me because it is a small spot on this board, but we can. Trying to put this in position, you can see it too. Then the negative will come down. Now there are different drivers, different voltages. Some of the drivers I've used are 6 volt. Some of the drivers I use are 6 volt, and that's the hooked onto the driver for the first one. And I'll do the same thing for the second. I'll do the same thing for the second one. Okay, now that I have both arrays with their own driver, and like I said, they're 4.5 volts, 1050 milliamps. We're ready now to put in our supply voltage. So I'll solder in 2 wires, and what we want to do is, on the back side you see a bullseye. The center is positive. The center is positive. This outer ring's negative, and what I want to do is tin each of those 2 spots first, and so I have a spot to solder my wire onto. So we'll tin a spot here. I'll be a little careful with the outside because we don't want the outside ring to touch the inside ring. So we just get a spot there like that. And we'll do the same thing for the other LED. We'll tin the center, which is our positive. And we'll tin the outside. And that gives us a place to put our wire to. Okay, now we want to put our negative wire to the outside ring. So we already have it tinned, so let's just set our tinned wire on there. And it's on. Same for the other one. I'll just tin my wire first. So we can get it up there and help us hold it. Now we'll just tin our wire first. And we're good. Now we want for the inside, which will be our positive. Now for the positive, and like I said, I'm just going to lay that down there. My wire is already tinned. And that's about all it takes. Just create a puddle. Okay, now our array's built. We got our 4.5 volts in, coming out of the driver into the LED. Now what I do, and I'll take this, flip it this way, and I'll bring the wires down. I'll goop this to the case so it stays where it's supposed to stay. And what I do is I take I'll drill the case, take a bolt through here, and I'll space this out 1/4 inch. I want this as close to my optics as I can get. So I'll put a 1/4 inch nylon spacer or steel spacer or whatever, and I'll bolt this right to the case. I do have an example here of the array in a build. This is a underwater kinetics box. It's a 408. I think the 308 works great too. But when I have my optics in, this is what it looks like. And I use a this optics is from Deal Extreme. It's a 44 millimeter. It's like a big magnifying glass, and this spreads my array out. Now, the closer the LEDs is to the glass, the wider the beam is. The further away it out is, the narrower the beam is. So that's what my array will actually look like. Sorry about bouncing things around. That's what my array will actually look like. And all you'll see is 2 red dots. So sorry about the jerking around of the camera and stuff, but trying to show you that's what the array will look like inside. And I'll give you an inside view. That's what the array will look like inside. I got it spaced out 1/4 inch. As you can see, I'm using just a bolt through, and I'm using a nylon 1/4 inch spacer. And for my drivers, I just have them gooped in. And once I have them gooped in, then it's positive, positive, negative, negative. Your negative will go to your sister board. The positive will go to your battery out. Real simple, really nice, quick LED array. Does a really good job. Real simple. Hope this helps. If you have any questions, it's Buckshot 164 Archery Talk on camptrapper.com and hagshouse.com. Real simple. If you need any parts information, I'll get it to you as best I can. Hope this helps.